guys, my name is Jo Rogers and I am the CEO of Navistar Legal. And today I'm talking to Adi Kaimowitz of Virtual Actuaries, who is talking to me about his personal life, a little, not necessarily a personal life, but personal philosophies. And I've asked him to join us just to share a little bit about some of the successes, some of the routines that he has during the day, and some of the philosophies that he has, particularly at this moment in time. So, Adi, over to you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you very much. I have had my morning routine, and I believe very strongly that a healthy body is a healthy mind.
Yes.
Now, even though that sounds like absolute garbage, the reality is what that translates into is when dealing with any scenario, a phone call and a nasty email from a client, anything. Oh my God, like I didn't realize we were going to get taxed so much. Like anything that you go through, you don't want to be dealing with anything as like a nervous wreck. So a healthy body is a healthy mind really will just, kick off those natural endorphins in your head to just calm you and just, deal with it like a responsible person. And, that's everything from, drinking water and making sure you're hydrated to eating as healthy as you can so that your chemical levels don't spike in your body from just eating junk food and so coffee is very important for me. Some people don't drink coffee, but for me, it's very, very important. So, my philosophy really is I try to, go to sleep as early as I can. I'm not out partying and drinking, and I think that over the space of like a 1 or 2 year period, the concept should hold true that I should be more level-headed when dealing with anything. So that's kind of my philosophy.
Do you meditate?
So meditating is a good word. So there's 2 forms of meditation. The first one is prayer. So prayer is actually meditation. So I pray every morning. Okay. And then secondly, for me, like gym is meditation.
Right.
So I like to listen to dance music. I'm 42 years old. So I'm an old school sort of like clubber. So, like I try to listen to breakbeat or I can't remember dubstep, but that stuff is like for crazy people. So I actually stopped listening to it a few years ago. It was making me like, So so that's not meditation. So I've realized like I like to listen to some nice dance music, and then I have a home gym that I bought about 3 weeks ago. Luckily, I got in just before the lockdown. It's quite an extensive, like what they call a 3-phase. So it's got quite a lot there. And then I listen to the music while I'm training. Very important. So for me, that's like there's a moment there normally. And I do a lot of my best thinking when I'm training. Yes, I'm on the phone with, the actuaries and, dealing with, 1 or 2 things. But yeah, that's like meditation for me. Without that, I'd probably be more fidgety and like more irrational. Yeah, meditation is very important. And then sometimes I walk outside, there's sunlight. At the moment, the song peaks, you're just thinking to yourself, I hope the neighbors can't see me now because they must think I'm a crazy person, like standing there with my arms out, spinning around in the sun.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I guess it must be sunny there, right? You're in South Africa, so I think you have different weather to the UK. It was my experience. It's a little bit rainy out there for us today, but yeah, I love a bit of sunshine on your skin. What myth? No, actually, there was one thing that when we talked last, you said, I don't ever take on mentors. Tell me about that philosophy. Like, I'm curious because I love mentors and I find them really useful. So share more with me about why you don't.
Well, so the first thing is I believe that there's 2 things here. Number one is the philosophy of take a mentor for yourself, which is important. No one knows everything. In fact, you probably know nothing. I mean, like, who the hell do you think you are? You're not a multi-millionaire or a billionaire. So there's always somebody that you can get advice from. So unfortunately, I could never really find anybody that I really, really looked up to that I believed was super successful, and that if I had an issue, I could go to them and I would get sound advice. Because I did try over the years to get some mentors, but every so often I would reach out to them, and then the problem was I thought the advice was like, bleh. I didn't think it was good advice.
Right.
Years ago, the one mentor, said to me, what do you think? New business, go get a job. I was like, yeah, I'm dumping you as a mentor, So unfortunately, I never really picked up a good mentor. Although I have been searching and I never really found anybody. That's the first thing. It's very important to have a mentor. I just haven't, unfortunately, found somebody that I really, really look up to. Okay. Like there's no point in having a mentor who's a good business person, but then, is out like, being non-family like.
Right.
Because then they're actually a bad mentor. Then they'll make you do naughty things, which, I'm a family person. So, there's a balance there. It also goes to the heart of who do you choose as your icon? When I was younger, my icons were people who were like, quick and, kind of like flashy. And so I changed that as well, more sort of the family orientated type people became my icons. It actually changed my life when I looked at it. And then I think going back, it goes to a topic which is known as self-reliance. There's definitely a tie in there. Now, my default, I want to be self-reliant. Self-reliance is a lot of things. It's the you as a brand that we've spoken about, and self-reliance as a business person. No one's gonna make that healthy sandwich for you. You have to be self-reliant. So, if my default is I'm faced with an issue, I have the confidence that I don't need to always run it past somebody. I'm self-reliant. I stand on my own 2 feet. I don't have any safety nets or anybody I can rely on. I'm self-reliant. So unfortunately, it doesn't really match very well with the whole concept of mentors, because, the whole mentor thing is, well, I'm faced with an issue, but before I make my decision, I'm going to run it past my mentor, just get their okay or get their insight. Like, I don't have that situation. I'm more self-reliant, but however, I would love to have somebody that I could tap into, and I believe that person will come, and I'll find that person, and then the self-reliance and the mentor thing will balance itself out. So these kind of few concepts all mixed together.
There's an element of confidence there as well, isn't there? There's like a self-confidence in knowing and trusting your decision, even though it is hard. I mean, the thing that I find most helpful is being able to reach out and double guess something or double check something with someone. And they don't need to necessarily be a mentor. They can just be somebody who's in my industry or who knows the person that I'm frustrated with, or that I can just confidentially say, okay, this is the challenge that I'm going through. How do you deal with challenges without, or do you talk to other people about your challenges?
So that's an excellent question. So I get my inspiration from everyone. I get my inspiration from. You give a homeless person some money, you see them breaking it and sharing with somebody next to them, whatever, if you're giving them food, oh my God, like I need to be more sharing. Like, doesn't matter who I think that person is, at a soul level, that person could be the king of Egypt, or not, that's a bad example, but their soul could be amazing. It just so happens they're a homeless person. Doesn't mean that you can't learn from them. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, one also has to be quite strong when dealing with internal colleagues that maybe have an older mindset of how things should be done. Now, if you're trying to break and disrupt the market to a point where you are the biggest company in the industry in that market, not many people will understand what it actually takes to do that. And when faced with a challenge, those who are internal colleagues, internal, not external, internal, it's a bit, I think we shouldn't approach the situation like that. The clients might feel it's not proper. Oh, excuse me, not proper. Well, let me tell you, in my belief, the clients don't know what they actually want. Because if they did, they wouldn't all be sitting at home at the moment. They would have set up their businesses to work more digitally. So when I explain to the clients that I would insist that we work more digitally and actually remind the clients that Zoom is better than their internal mechanism that they use, which doesn't work, the internal conflict, you don't want to bother the clients. Let them use their system. There's a moment there. So no, It is not correct. Our system is better. I will be brave and I will approach the client and mention to them why I believe it's more important that we rather do this. They can choose not to do it, but I'm not going to cower away from being brave because internal people or external people, that's not how things are done in our industry. So self-reliance and being your own mentor is having the confidence to say that if you want to change an industry, you have to unfortunately take it on the chin when introducing new concepts, new ways of doing things, and so on. Now, if I had to, my default was, I don't want to shake up the industry. I don't want to upset people. Then you would never push through. We would have been in the same situation as everybody else from a digital perspective. In fact, that is not the case. And now people realize we were right. So, that's a little bit about self-confidence and how, going through your putting your foot down and saying, I believe we should do this. And this is why. But then at the end of the day, the decision to do it or not to do it must rest with you.
Responsibility leads with you as a leader. Hey, that is a fact. You mentioned two things there: family, and you sort of alluded to spiritual practice. I know you're mentioning kind of your own meditation. Do you want to share about either of those? Just the kind of final thought. They're probably the most important thoughts, aren't they?
Well, I think we're in a situation at the moment where good quality family values, it's not for everyone, but it is for me. So, it's not for me to say that, you should do your own thing. That's your thing. But if I'm going to lead my life, it's about, daddy's at home, daddy's being responsible, daddy doesn't let the children watch, certain programs where, the characters in the program are having hissy fits, or what's about boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean, they're 2-3 years old. You don't want to be teaching them about boyfriend, girlfriend at that age. So I don't let them watch that kind of stuff. So for me, family life is about being the example, and that daddy is the hero. Like, I'm not perfect, and sure, I do shout and scream, of course, but in essence, I'm clothed in the family values philosophy, okay? And whatever that means to me, it might mean something else to someone else, okay? You get different philosophies. So, some people are mavericks, for them, it's like, it's all about being like, not family values. So for me, family values are very important. And my wife, wonderful, she works in the business with me, and she does a great job here. Then on the other side, the second thing you were saying was family values and
spirituality. You mentioned kind of meditation and the prayer. I just wondered what that routine looks like, or if it's a routine, or if it's just a.
No. So so I'm religious. I'm Jewish. And I'm an Orthodox Jew. So what that means is that, my everything that I'm involved in is about, Bible, Bible philosophy, and translating that into the world, okay, in how I interact with the world. There's a lot of principles there. We eat kosher, it's the Sabbath, I pray in the morning, I pray in the afternoon and in the evenings. And, it's really about, there's, for me, I mean, it might be different from other people. I'm not going to judge you, and I hope you won't judge me. What I'm doing is right or wrong, or what you're doing is right or wrong. For me, I'm a religious Jew, and I'm not trying to change the world or fix the world. For me, it's really just about interacting with the world in a way that I can do my best. And in your interactions with me, if I can, give a good name to what we call Kiddush Hashem, which is the sanctity of God. In face of I'll tell you something interesting. This is kind of the one thing I'll say about this topic. When you go to heaven one day, the first question that the heavenly court will ask you, the first question is not, did you pray a lot? Did you eat kosher? Did you, kiss the Bible? Did you do your Hail Marys? The first question they will ask you is, in your business dealings and your daily dealings with people, did you treat people with respect and love and fairness? Not when people were watching, when you were chill, but when no one was watching. And that garden person or that person that you committed to give them the money, and you realized that you could charge them a bit more without them realizing it, or when no one was watching, how did you act?
And to me, that comes down to character, doesn't it? For me, it's like the character that gets built in business and it's just in life in general, frankly. It doesn't have to be in business, but it's in life in general. Sticking to your values, you're like, you know what, family values are super important to me. I love my family to bits, but I have, zero interest in children. But it's so interesting how these things build our character, and can we be and show up to be the best person we can be. That's what I'm hearing you say. And it's not because people see us being the best person we can be, but so that truthfully in our heart of hearts we are showing up. And that's why I ask about spirituality, not because you'd mentioned it, because actually when I've talked to other people, they've mentioned it. They've mentioned the importance of connecting to something that's higher than them, or connecting to a philosophy or a principle or a purpose that's greater than them, to kind of drive through their interactions and to continue to keep their values top of mind, which is really what I'm hearing you say. Family is really important. Honesty, fairness are really important. I suspect that's why you've got a collaboration in your business. It kind of all underlies everything. So, thank you, Adi. As always, I feel like I learn so much when I speak to people, and I gain so much insight into, or so much more. It's really helpful. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. How can people get in contact with you?
Well, they're most welcome to find me if they search on Google for virtual actuary. They will find me in a split second, or on LinkedIn, Adi Kaimowitz. If you search anywhere, Instagram or Twitter or anything, you will find me. You're most welcome to get in touch. And I think I'm relatively easy to find. And I welcome any and all communication.
Great. Thank you, Adi. Most appreciated. Wishing you a great kind of end to, it's beginning of the week. Wishing you a wonderful beginning of the week.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great day. Thank you for joining us.
I've loved it. Thank you so much for having me.